Hey y'all, welcome to this week's episode of Ducking Reality. In the studio with me today is JoAnne Yada, or better known as Miss Y.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. I'm excited to get to know you because I know you peripherally through Fireside, and I've seen a ton of your art, and you've done craft classes for adults, but I know you do a ton of other stuff. So give us kind of like the JoAnne Yada origin story.
Well, I'm definitely an artist, and I teach kids different mediums. So like I'm a kids art teacher, but I also do grown-up art too. I call it grown-up because adult art sounds kind of sketchy. It's kinda like, oh, adult art.
Sounds kind of like going into a kinky direction.
Yeah. Let's make some adult stuff.
Adult art. Which could also be fun.
That could, yes. I'm not shaming that at all. Like, come on. But yeah, I'm an art teacher and I work for an organization that's in the after-school program. I get to teach kindergarteners about David Bowie and Freddie Mercury and the Ramones.
Oh, awesome.
And just this last weekend, we had a show and each of my students got to choose a musician that they learned about. And they got to dress up as that musician and like be in this show that we did for the families. That was just so epically wonderful. And it's like the best thing. So like one of my students wanted to be Joan Jett. And I was like, yes, let's make you a guitar out of cardboard. And she made it heart-shaped because the black hearts.
Yep.
And a couple of my students wanted to be Daft Punk. And so we made helmets.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really fun.
Can anyone go to this? Is it creepy if I go and I don't have a kid? It sounds so cute.
It is fucking adorable. Yeah. The parents love me and like the kids love learning about stuff that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
So I even introduced them to one of my childhood TV shows, Gem and the Holograms.
I'm a huge Gem and the Holograms fan. Yes.
Okay, we need to talk about GemCon eventually then because yes.
I still have my Gem doll in my parents' storage. Yep.
Was it Gem like with the light up earrings? Yes.
Absolutely. I think I had like the whole cast.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. I know I had at least two.
Okay.
But I want to say maybe at one point I had them all.
Okay. Well, there's the Holograms and then there's the Misfits and then there's like the other like
I think I had all the Holograms and maybe one of the Misfits.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll have to check.
I have a lot of siblings and we were obsessed with it and my mom was, the person who bought the toys for us. Yeah. And she bought two Pizzazz toys for us, two Pizzazz dolls for us. And we never got a Roxy doll. Oh. And so, like, for my 50th birthday last year, my mom bought me a real vintage Roxy doll. That's amazing. And that was like, oh, my life's complete now. I have a Roxy.
Healed a part of your childhood.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
That's awesome. That's a great present.
Yes.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 4 younger sisters and an older brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
And we grew up Mormon.
Oh.
Yeah. So my whole family was in that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
Kind of all over. I was born in SLO. My family moved to the Bay, like the peninsula, when I was pretty young. I lived in Pleasant Hill and Belmont.
Okay.
And then my dad got a job in the Central Valley, so we moved near Fresno to Visalia. And that's where my folks still live now.
Oh, nice.
So like middle school on up to like community college, I lived in Visalia.
All right.
Yeah.
When did you is your whole family still Mormon? Or still practicing?
No,
okay.
Which is a great thing because that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Even my parents, they just kind of snapped out of it.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when they?
I was 26.
Wow.
When I decided to leave.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of my siblings started to notice things and like stop attending. And this is a high demand religion. So if you stop attending, it's a big deal. So a couple of my siblings stopped going. I was still very active when my brother came out.
Okay.
And you can't really be gay and Mormon. It just doesn't work. And so for a while I was like, oh, I have to decide between my brother and my church. And ultimately I decided to side with my brother. I was like, this is an organization that's making me have to decide. Yeah. And they're supposed to be family first. They're supposed to be, so that was difficult. But also once I stopped going, I was like, dude, life is much better now. Like I get my whole weekend back. Yep. They make you pay tithing. 10% of your income goes to them. I got that 10% back. Yeah. I learned a lot about like what it means to be gay. Because when I was a kid, I was scared of it. I was like, oh no, you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
But then my brother, like, he's not a bad person.
Yeah.
And learning through him was like, oh, I've been so stupid this whole time. So, and through the years, like, he has this giant bear community. And I've seen more love and compassion and support from those people than I have from the church people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
It kind of, yeah, once you have that one thing that unlocks it for you, I feel like that makes it easier to walk away.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up Catholic, but I was kind of disillusioned really early age.
Okay.
Like, I remember being like to the priest being like, I have questions. Like, you want me to hate someone for something that they can't control? I don't get that. And like, I like remember sitting down with a priest and being like, okay, like explain this to me.
And I bet
And
he didn't
was
like
just
that.
like, no, he actually, I got lucky that he was a really good priest. He's no longer a priest anymore.
Oh, okay.
But he was a really good priest that was like, I understand you have questions. And he left room for it and was like, I have my faith and you need to figure out yours. And if this isn't working for you, like he was the perfect priest to have that conversation with. And it was just like
rare.
Yeah. And he was just very logical and very like, and I think maybe that's why it was probably easier for him to meet a woman and leave the priesthood.
Yeah, get it. Good for him.
Yeah. It's funny. The last two priests that I had like a decent relationship with are both no longer priests.
Wow. See, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, it's not so black and white, right? There's not just like right, wrong, light, dark, this path, that path. There's so much beauty in the gray areas.
Yeah.
There's so much nuance that like you can't just ignore.
No. And I don't understand why anyone wants to tell someone else how to live. Like that's always been one of my things. Like, why do you care who that person sleeps with or how they dress or whatever? Like if it's not hurting you or anyone else, why do you care?
Exactly.
Like, why do you want to police what they're doing?
Yeah.
That to me, and I've never had someone that can, from any religion, explain that well to me. Like on why they should be able to tell you how and when and what.
And all they can say is, well, God told us. Like,
right.
Did he?
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah.
But who told you God told them?
Right. Yeah. Who says there is a God, you know?
Right.
And like, if you're going to cite the Bible, you can just stop because the Bible was not written by God. It was written by humans who never hung out with Jesus, if that's, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's been changed so many times. Anyway, like, I felt like, I don't know, because it's such a high demand religion and I was born into it. It just seemed like the only way. Like, oh, I'm so fortunate to have this stability. And they just tell you how to live and what to do and how to be a good person. And then it's like, well, wait a second, I can be a good person without them.
Right.
And not only that, but like the church now has been collecting all of that tithing money and investing it and making purchases with it that they should not. And a whistleblower came out a few years ago. So it turns out the church is now sitting on something like $600 billion where, you know, like this is a nonprofit and they're making profit. Yeah. They're not using it for charity. They're not using it the way that they promised they would.
Right.
And so that's a huge problem too. They also have, you know, sex offenders who come, you know, it's discovered that they've been doing that and the church will side with them instead of the victims.
Right.
There was a man who was a former bishop, which is basically like a priest.
Yep.
And he started thinking about how wrong it is to hear. So it's normal practice in Mormonism to be sexually pure, and the purity culture is huge. So when I was a young teenager, I would have to confess any sexual thoughts or actions that I had. And that's like the most intimidating thing ever. Being in an office, like an executive office with a man I barely know, and he's asking me questions about, do you masturbate? Do you touch yourself? Do you let boys touch you? And do you like it? And like really terrible, just horribly inappropriate things.
Right.
But back then it was like, well, that's just what you do to get clean. And like being on the other side of it, it's like, so there's a man who came out and just started speaking out about it.
Right.
As the bishop who was asked to do this questioning to young girls, he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
He found out his daughter was being asked these questions and he was like, stop it right now. Let's figure this out. And the church excommunicated him, said, you don't threaten us. You don't speak out about us. And now he is someone who started an organization to help, the victims of child abuse, which is, that's just gross.
Yeah, it is.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's purity culture gone wild. Yeah.
We have in Catholicism, we have confession where you go, but like you go into like a little thing and you can do face to face, or you can do like it's a screen. So you're not supposed to be able to tell who's back there.
Yeah.
Or who's, but they don't explicitly ask you things. It's like you come and you confess your sins. Like, I've lied, I've done this, I've done that. And then you're like, 5 Hail Marys and whatever, Our Fathers, and then you're good. But they're not like then asking you probing questions about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also a girl, so maybe that was different. That's creepy.
Wildly inappropriate, and it's something that they continue to defend. And yeah, so there are more and more people speaking out about it. And the church finally said, okay, how about this? If the kid wants to have a parent with them in the room, then that's okay. And that's like, I'm sorry, what kid would say, yes, I want my parent
to listen to me talk about my sex? Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels... Oh.
And when you're in it and you're like young, you don't know any better.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, this is the process. This is what you do.
Right.
But then when I got older, and even now I'm listening to a lot of podcasts and reading books about people who were in this religion, and it really is a high demand religion. Like, I learned about the BITE model. Have you heard about the BITE model? So BITE stands for if a religion or organization or person controls your behavior, your information, where you get information.
Yeah.
T is for your thoughts. They control your thoughts. And if they control your emotions. So if those things kind of resonate, it's like, oh, wait a second, this is probably not good.
Right. It's probably a cult.
It's probably a cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Run.
Oh. Have you seen the show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
I started watching it, and they don't behave Mormon at all.
I didn't think so, because I lived in Arizona for a few years, and there was a big Mormon population.
Yeah.
And like, there was a couple guys that I worked with, and I remember I swore or something, and one guy came to me and was like, you can't do, and I was like, you can't tell me what to do. And he's like, you don't understand. And he was like lecturing me, and I looked at the other guy, and I'm like, what is happening? And like his friend was like, he's more like he's like looking at me. He's like, just stop. And I'm like, no, like what this kid thinks he can tell me how I can talk. Like, you're not my boss. And this kid was like horrified by me.
Yeah.
I don't think he had ever met an East Coast girl either. And I was just like, fucking get out of my face, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like at me, and I was like, no. And I went right back at him. I'm like, what are you saying? I'm like, you can't, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the other kid was like trying not to laugh. And the Mormon kid walked out and was like all huffy. And I'm like, what was that about? And he was like, he's Mormon. And I was like, and?
So he
was like,
still, he can't tell me how to behave.
Yeah, and he was like, well, he's like, have you ever met a Mormon? I'm like, you mean the guys in the uniform, like on the train?
Bicycles?
And like, because we had Mormon missionaries in Boston.
Okay.
So they would have their like very much like the South Park or the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
When their little white shirts with their name tags.
Yeah.
And as Catholic schoolgirls, we would horrify them. Like, it was we would go and make them uncomfortable, because we were like, what are you doing? Like, we were terrible. Like, they'd be on the tee, and we'd be like, go talk to the Mormon. Go get him.
Go say that you're gay, or go say a cuss word in front of them, and they're like,
and like, so I was just like, oh my God, they're like, and I was like, they have regular jobs? Like, it was kind of, because I was like, I've never met a Mormon outside of their missionary.
Right, yeah.
And so the first time we did, I was just like, oh yeah, that kid hated me.
Yeah. And they're so like brainwashed.
Yeah.
Especially at that age.
He was like in his early 20s.
Yeah.
And like very young and sheltered.
Very, very much, to be like wagging his finger at you for saying something. It's like, stop.
Like, I think I like dropped something and I was like, fuck, or something. And he just was like horrified. And then when I was like not just submissive, he got very angry.
Yes.
And then the other kid that we worked with that was a Mormon was on the cusp. And so like every once in a while he would get on my side and he'd say to the other one, like, you should swear. You should let her hear you swear. And like, it was terrible.
He's like poking
Yeah, he wouldn't swear, but he would be trying to get the other kid, because the other kid was so uptight.
Yeah,
like, she wants you to swear. She really does. She'll be nicer.
That's funny to fuck with them a little bit. Yeah, those missionaries, they have to be 19 years old to 21. That's like the age where they are supposed to go.
Yeah.
And that's the age where you're just like, so you're just finished with high school, you're not quite in college, and you're figuring yourself out, and it's very much expected. If you're a boy, you got to go.
Yeah. And we also thought it was weird. Like, why are you a missionary in Boston? Like,
Yeah.
like we're like, are you supposed to like go to other countries?
Yeah.
And like, you know, and we would just be like, why are they here?
Well, they're
everywhere.
They really are, and they have to pay for their whole entire 2-year trip.
Oh wow!
They have to pay for all of it, all expenses. They have to raise the money themselves or get it from their family.
And even though the church has $6 billion.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Of course, yeah. It's all about control and power.
Yeah.
If they said, you don't have to pay your tithing anymore, then what would that mean? Then like people wouldn't have faith.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Does it come right out of people's checks to the church?
No, you have to do it. And like some people do automatic payments.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's different now. But when I was a kid, like my babysitting money, I would give 10% of my babysitting money.
Oh, wow.
I would get like $10. I would, yep, there's my dollar. And I'm happy to have my 90%.
Wow.
And it's like, it's on trust and everything.
Right.
But like, Steve Young was a Mormon, and I'm sure they got a lot of money from him,
Right.
but from a very early age, it's just what you do. And they tell you, you have a choice. If you don't want to pay, you don't have to, but you just can't get into the highest level of heaven after you die.
Yeah. The fact that they have levels of heaven, like that would have been my first, like, huh?
What?
I thought it was just either it happens or it doesn't. Now you're
No.
telling me there's levels and
Yeah.
like VIP stuff?
Yes. Yes.
That
There's
to me
VIP.
would be like the crazy part of it. Yeah. That's where it probably would fall apart for me. I like to think at least.
People have tried to draw diagrams that are like, up here's where God and Jesus live, and then here's the middle. So there's the celestial kingdom is the top. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And you're guilted and shamed into, if you don't behave, then you're not going to get there, and your family's going to be torn apart.
It's so terrible.
It is. And they also police each other to make sure like your neighbors and your family members are on the right track, so that you can be together in heaven after you die.
That sounds
Make
like
it to the top.
communism.
It's like, it's a combination of all kinds of messed up stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you got out of it.
Yeah. Me too. But like, I grew up with, there's like a health code, and you're not supposed to drink coffee, tea, or alcohol ever, or smoke. And so I was like 27 when I had alcohol for the first time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And fan, not a fan?
It was like, it was an experience. So like, I was by myself, and I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. I wasn't quite comfortable walking into a bar because it's like, oh, people are looking at it. This, I feel so self-conscious.
Right.
So I went to like a 7-Eleven and I got a Miller Lite. Because I didn't know any better. I was like, I saw the commercial. They look like they're having fun. I'm going to try this. I'm like, okay. So I got this Miller Lite, and it's a bottle, and I put it in my little black bag, and I'm like sneaking it home. I'm like, nobody's around. I'm like all alone. I don't know how to open it really. So I'm like, we don't even have like wine openers or we have can openers, but I figured out how to open it, and I was like, this is nasty. I don't understand how anybody could drink this. So I like stopped for a little while, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to walk into a bar and just see what the big deal is. 'Cause it looks like fun. And so like I was surprised at how dark it was. I was like, why is it so dark? And I'm like surrounded by drunk people. This is out of my element, because I was so sheltered. And so like, yeah, I didn't know what to order. And I was just like, oh, what's that? I'll try that. That sounds good. And like, it was an IPA, and I'm not a fan of IPA. So I'm like, okay, that's strike 2 for beer. And then another time I went out with a friend, and she was like, order something that you've heard of, or, she's like, I don't know what to order. So just think of a word of a drink that you've heard of.
Right.
And I was like, a Manhattan. So I started out drinking with a Manhattan, and I was like, shit, you could start a car with this stuff. I can't drink this. I was so misguided. I was like, I don't know what to do. There needs to be like life coaches for people who are new at this to know.
We
like,
can do that.
what do I order? I don't know. But I also like being over 21 and being there for the first time, I didn't want to like blow my cover.
Right.
I didn't want to ask the bartender, I've never drank before. Where do I start? Like, it's embarrassing.
Oh my God, I would have loved it if you came into my bar and was like, I used to be Mormon and I've never had a drink. I'd be like, let's go.
Okay, let's practice. Okay, so I'm Mormon. I've never drank anything before. What do I do?
I would start you out with a kamikaze shot.
Okay.
It's citrusy and light, and it's not overwhelmingly alcohol forward.
And it's just a shot,
yeah,
so it's
just
not
a shot,
a commitment.
So
yeah, okay.
You know, and even give you like a half a shot, like just a cheeky so you can try it.
Okay.
And then I would probably go on from there. Like, I would treat you like most 21-year-olds, like give you maybe a sex on the beach or like just a juice and vodka.
Okay,
and start you there.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to get into wine, I'd start you out with champagnes.
Okay,
yes. They're sweet and bubbly, and then we'd work out through the whites.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you don't want to jump in. Beer is really, it's not, unless some dudes, but most people, I wouldn't start out with beer.
Yeah.
And if I did, it would be a light beer. I would probably go with a Pilsner, maybe not Miller Lite, but a Pilsner or a Kolsch or something.
Yeah.
Something light. So you can kind of get the feel of it and then maybe introduce you to some IPAs. But most of them are super hoppy.
Yeah,
and
that's
hopsters,
what I don't.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to kind of get into unless you've been into it.
Yeah, so I try. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's helpful. Like I needed a coach for that, and that would be like, I don't know. Maybe you should put that on Craigslist or something. Are you Mormon and wanting to?
Do you need someone, a social coach? Do you need someone to teach you how to party? I'm here for you. Lifelong bartender who also suffers from some social anxiety, who understands. I'll teach you how to do it.
Yes, yeah. You're like the drag mom. You're like the.
Yep.
Well, now, next coffee.
Yes. All right. Now let's get into coffee. Ease you into some caffeine.
Oh my God. Yeah, the first time I walked into a Starbucks, I didn't know what I was doing too. I was like, I'll just have a coffee, and they're like,
"Oh, and that's
what kind do you want?" I know. Oh, I didn't know. I just saw at Starbucks. That's where they have coffee,
it just means
right?
they have so many options. Like,
they're
like, okay, well, do you want it
what
frozen, hot, cold, ice, triple foamed? Yeah.
You want pumps? I don't know what you're talking about. They said, you want room for cream? I'm like, I don't know what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're like, oh, there ways to take your coffee?
I'll just have a hot chocolate.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but like I still have friends and a family member who's in it, but kind of nuanced. I'm really fortunate that my parents are not in it anymore. Yeah. And my mom and I, we both listen to a podcast where it talks about like, hey, this was problematic, don't you think? And it's like, wait a second. Yeah. Why didn't I think of that before? And being on the other side, it's like, oh, here's something that I just discovered that like I never thought of before. I just accepted it. And like, I feel like we've got closer because of it.
Oh, that's incredible then.
Yeah.
Because if they had stayed in, you guys probably wouldn't have much of a relationship, right?
Not really. No, because
they make it really hard.
It's hard because like, I've seen this when I was younger of like some of my peers stopped, like one person stopped going and I could see the pain in their parents.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I wish my kid was here because I want them to be with me eternally. And like, even like spouses, one spouse says, I don't believe this anymore. And the other one wants to stay in it. Then it's like, what do you do? Yeah. There's really not much of a compromise at that point. But my mom and dad, they're both converts. So there's that.
Oh,
like my mom was converted when she was a young college student. She went to BYU. She just wanted to go to a program that had astronomy and they have a telescope.
Right.
So she decided to go to school there, and you can't really go to BYU and not get baptized and be a member. So she did that. And I think my dad got baptized just so he could be with her.
Oh.
And then and so it wasn't really like pioneer Mormon stock going back generations or anything.
Right.
My grandparents thought it was weird that my parents joined in the first place.
Yeah, I guess that would make it easier because then they get their parents back too.
Yes, yeah. Although they passed away before my parents stopped going to church, but I have an aunt and an uncle and there's other family that's like, oh, cool, we have our brother back. All right. But it is very hard socially because I will say that they keep you busy. Church was 3 hours every Sunday.
It's long.
Yeah. Every first Sunday of every month was fast and testimony meeting where you skip a meal and then the congregation is invited to come up to the podium and just say whatever it is they want to say. And like, of course, people are crying and they're like, I'm so grateful. And because they're hungry.
Right.
And like, you really get emotionally involved and attached and you feel like, oh, I should go up there. And then your whole friend group, the whole like support group is part of that church. And like stepping away from that is not just, oh, I'm not going there on Sunday anymore. It's like your friends are not your friends anymore.
Yeah. Like if you think about how hard it is to leave a job you've been at for a long time, like this is that on steroids.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Like when you're like, oh, I have these people that I'm friends with and I see them all the time. And then like you don't go to that job anymore and you don't see them. That's hard. But like when this is intertwined through every part of your life.
Yes.
Like you're really like extracting yourself.
Really, yes. And like the people that you could count on are no longer like, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
I don't, it's, you would think that it would be beyond that because you're supposed to be kind and caring and all that. But like, it's scary to continue a friendship with someone who used to be in the church and now is not, because that's apostasy. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to align yourself with apostates. And that's like, that's scary. But I will proudly say that I'm an apostate. I'm coming out as an apostate. I'm proud of it.
You're free.
I'm free, yes. Yeah. And those people, I don't want to be friends with them if our friendship is conditional.
Right.
So like, I don't know. There's when my mom had a hard time because her friend group, she was in like a singing group and someone from her singing group was like, you're going to regret this and you better come back and we want you back. People started coming over to our house that we were not really good friends with. And they're like, oh, I was just thinking about you. I care about you. It's like, why now? You didn't care about us before. Right. So like, and because we know the behavior of the organization, we know that the bishop sent people to us to try to get us back. And that's not genuine.
Creepy.
It is creepy.
Like, hey, go swing by the Yadis. See if we can get them back on our side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, we were really active. And, you know, there's 6 kids.
Right.
Plus 2 parents. And they were always in a leadership role of some kind.
Yeah.
And, like, to lose that, it's like, oh, we can't. And then since then, people have come to my parents and said, I want out. Can you help us? Can you give us advice on how we can leave too?
Yeah. And have they helped them?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, and that's also, you have 8 people walking out of a church. That's noticeable. It's not like maybe 1 or 2. 8 people is a chunk of people.
Yes.
That like, if they leave, what happens if other people around them get the idea they can leave?
Right.
So like to keep you is more financially and control-wise.
Totally.
Way back. Yeah.
We don't want to give other people ideas.
Right. Yeah. We don't want other people to think that they can leave.
Yeah.
That is so culty.
It's very, very much so. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I also, you know, I got a lot of jobs and babysitting gigs and it kept us out of trouble, I guess, you know, for some of it.
And I think there is like a benefit to growing up with some kind of faith or some kind of community. I do think like there's positives in it, which is why so many people start there. Like I don't discount that. Like there's sometimes when someone has so much faith that I'm like, I wish I had that. Like I wish I had the desire to go to church every week or like be involved in like a community group like that.
Yeah.
I kind of am jealous of it sometimes. Yeah. Where like they're like, oh well, God will take care of me. I'm like, I love that you feel like that. Like I don't, you know, I really do kind of have like an appreciation for it and almost like that's awesome that you have that much faith in something. Like it's kind of like when people have like a super obsession on something and they know everything about it. I'm like, I wish I had that like drive to get into something like that passionate Like, that's not my, like, but there's a part of me that wishes I knew everything about trains, you know? Like,
right. Like a 7-year-old, like, yeah, I know
like,
all the dinosaurs and yeah.
Like when they just get so focused and they know everything. Like, I wish I had that, but I'm always like, oh, but also over here. And, did you see this?
Totally.
But yeah, so like, but I do, I'm glad you got out. Because could you listen to the music that you're obsessed with as a Mormon? Or did you find that later?
But for example, when I was fresh out of high school, I lived in Salt Lake City because I thought, this is the motherland. I'm going to have so much fun with all these Mormons. And 9 Inch Nails played a concert. And I was like, oh man, I want to go to that because I like them. And some of my friends went. And at the last minute, I was like, I don't remember what happened. Maybe I didn't get tickets or something, but I had a friend who went. And when the show was over the next day, he was like, it was so cool. He took a Book of Mormon and he tore it up on stage. Trent Reznor tore up a Book of Mormon in Salt Lake City. And I was like, ooh, that kind of hurt because I was like, wait a second, I like that music and I have his CDs and he's doing that to my faith. But I still like the music. I was so torn. And then they got banned from Salt Lake or from Utah, I think, altogether because of that. And then, I don't know, that kind of just stuck with me. And I was like, well, like, why is it so bad to like the music still?
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of, that was something I had to grapple with. Another thing I had to grapple with.
Yeah. I would be surprised, like, my brain is just still like, how does a Mormon listen to 9 Inch Nails?
I know. Not supposed to, but like, I don't know.
Because I was going to say, it's like certain music and things not allowed. And certain
music,
art.
Yeah. I mean, we could dance.
Okay.
Like that was something that sometimes we got mixed up with. I think it was Jehovah's Witness. We're not allowed to dance.
Okay. Well, I wasn't in Salt Lake. I was in another part of Utah.
Provo?
No, it's on the other mountain, Alta.
Oh.
Alta Lodge. I was up in Alta and like we were at the bar one night and there was music on and we started dancing and the bartender was like, you can't dance. And we were like, what? And like, we were just like, what are you talking about? And like the alcohol stuff was weird enough. Like every time we did anything, everyone kept taking our IDs and like they wouldn't give us doubles and like, no. And he's like, and I was just like, this is not Footloose. Like, what are you talking about?
It's that Arizona boy all over again. You can't do that.
And he's like, hey, you can't dance in here. And I was like, is that like a lodge rule? And he's like, no, it's like, and I was like, what is happening? And then one of the guys was like, oh, a lot of those kids are, because there was like a bunch of the ski instructors and like ski bums there. And he was like, oh, a lot of those guys are Mormon. Like, just relax. And I was like, oh, they have no, like my friend Tess and I are just, and Tess looks like, I love her. She's like hot blonde, but like, and just like out there. And so like she was like dancing and grinding and the bartender's like, you can't do that. Like so nervous. It was so funny.
Like they're at church.
Yeah, kind of like, and they were all really reserved. And like we were trying to like, and they just were very standoffish.
Yep. The boys were taught to resist temptation from the female form. And we girls were taught to cover up.
Yeah.
Don't even show your shoulders. A boy might see your bra strap, and that's just
my bra strap
not okay.
You know me, I always am rocking a one shoulder look. So I had a one shoulder look on in the lodge almost the whole time.
Hussy. Don't tempt us. So like they don't teach the boys control yourselves.
No.
They teach the girls don't show anything.
Right.
Yeah. Like one of their favorite things to do is object lessons where they have like an image or they use like parables. And so I was taught, don't be a chewed up piece of gum. Don't be a licked cupcake because no boy wants gum that's already been chewed. No boy wants a cupcake that's already been licked and defiled. So dumb.
Yeah.
So awful.
Yeah. I mean, Catholicism has some of that too. Like your purity and your virginity is sacred and yeah.
And do they teach that to the boys?
No.
Of course not.
No. But I mean, and I think that's just also in society. Like when you hear about a girl that gets like raped or assaulted or anything, and they're like, "Well, what was she wearing? What was she doing?"
Yeah,
it's not like what did he do?
No, not at all.
What did she do?
Yeah, and we're taught you should, carry your keys a certain way to be defensive, and like don't go somewhere alone. It's like, how about dudes don't rape and attack people?
Right. Yeah. How about we teach boys not to do anything?
Yeah. Tuck in your dick. and just be a good human, please.
Don't touch someone without their permission.
Yes. This is
How
very
about that is
stuff.
just like a real basic rule for everyone.
So basic.
Yeah.
It's so basic.
I had a guy in the bar the other day who was petting there was a woman squatting and petting a dog, and he started petting her. And then she like was so startled. She's like, "Don't touch me." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm just petting you. Like you're petting." And she was like, "Are you like?" And she was so like, and she came up to me and she was just shocked. And I went over and I was like, "Don't ever." And I was so mad. I'm like, "Don't ever touch someone, especially in this bar that you don't know and you don't have permission." And he's like, "You don't know my intent." I go, "Your intent doesn't fucking matter." I go, "You have no right to put your hands on anyone, never mind a woman." And he was like, "Well, you don't understand." And I was like, there is nothing to understand.
Right. Yeah. What could his explanation even be?
And he was like, my intention was, I was like, "I don't care what your intention was. You touched her. Yeah. She said stop. You touched her again. Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, get out of my bar."
You and she said, "Please don't."
Right.
And he couldn't take that.
No.
He couldn't.
Yeah. I was like, "Then you can't be here." And he was like, "Bah." I'm like, "No, out the door. See you later. Don't come back here."
Yeah.
Like, if you can't even be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," or "I didn't think she would be," maybe I would be like, "Yeah, don't ever do it again." But he was like coming back at me like I did nothing wrong. And I'm like, "Yeah, you did. You don't touch people."
Yeah. Like nobody ever told him don't do that.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't automatically become like, that's just common fucking sense.
Yeah. And of course he was an old white dude. And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't get to do whatever you want." No. And just because you didn't think your intention is something does not mean that it's okay. Like you don't touch people that you don't know. Yeah.
I can't. This is how domestic violence starts. This is how this is where it starts.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said something.
Oh yeah. She was like, and she was like, "Thank you so," like, cause she was still sitting there just kind of shocked, and she was just looking at me. She's like, "I'm so uncomfortable right now." And I was like, "I got you." Like, and then she was like, "Oh my God, thank you." I'm like, "Yeah, like that's not," I'm like, "We don't do that here."
Good. Yeah.
You don't, you're safe here. Like,
yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, especially around here on all of the bar community, like everyone is, for the most part, all of the bartenders and everything are trying to watch out for you, make sure like it's a space where everyone can come and hang out and be safe and blow off some steam and then go on about your day.
Yeah.
But you don't get to come in and be a dick.
No.
Like, that's not what this is about.
No. Yeah, no. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, that purity culture thing is real terrible.
Yeah. And it's just
it's really doesn't serve a purpose other than control.
Yeah.
Just control. They in Mormonism, women are encouraged to not go to school, not get jobs. If they do go to school, it's you could study to be a teacher just in case your husband dies. Oh, it's like everything is man-centric.
Yep.
Everything is like you give up your dreams to follow his dreams.
Yeah.
And that's just what you do. Have as many babies as you can. Don't worry if it's something you can't afford or if you don't want to. No, you just have to have faith that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
To pop out more tithe payers.
And isn't there something about the beauty too in Mormonism? Because I've read that Salt Lake has like a huge like beauty industry, like Botox and like fillers and
because your beauty is your value, and if you're not chosen by a man, then you just become a spinstress and you're worthless. So your looks are number one, because the more desirable you are to men, the more likely you are to keep a husband. Because that's all we're here for.
Wow, I didn't realize it tied into just that.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking maybe it had to do with the level of heaven you get into, but...
The bigger the tits, the higher up in heaven you are. I mean, if it gets you a man, I don't know.
It works, I guess.
Well, because you can't get to the highest level of heaven without a spouse, without a man. Men could be married and divorced, and they can go to the highest level. Women, if we get married... we can get to the highest level. Divorced? No.
Yeah. How does that even work out for the math?
It doesn't.
Like that. So,
And polygamy was the other thing too. Like men back in the 1830s, 40s, 50s, Brigham Young himself had something like 50 wives. Some of them were mother-daughter, married to both of them.
Oh.
The founder of the church, Joe Smith, he celestially married a girl who was 15 years old. And he did it just because, like, I don't know why. And then when he died, those wives were transferred over to Brigham Young, who made himself, like, sheriff of Salt Lake City, named a school after himself, became the next president, called himself a prophet. And he had, I'm sure hundreds of wives or children,
Right.
Something like 50 wives and like hundreds and hundreds of children, grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I love that one of his sons was a drag queen and was gender fluid.
Nice.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But must have had to leave the church.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was disavowed by,
But that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. So did you get into art like early then? Or was it that was always a through line?
Yes. Yeah, that's how I got through church on Sunday. There was a printed program and my mom knew to give us pens and crayons, and that's how we kept busy. My siblings and I would just draw on the programs.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes we would have a magazine that's from the church and we would like draw devil horns on the people in the pictures and like black out their teeth, and like my siblings and I always drew stuff. And I would hand in my homework with drawings on it. My Converse, the tip of the Converse was a blank canvas to me. Every time I got any shoes, draw on that. Yeah, it was just something that I just always did. My mom's an artist.
Okay.
Not like a professional artist or anything, but she does really cool work. She likes to break apart junk jewelry and put it back together in fun ways.
Oh, neat.
So she'll make like Christmas trees out of jewelry and like old broken brooches and earrings and stuff. She's really good. She's really good at sewing and quilting. She belongs to a group of ladies who quilt, and they make blankets for the needy and Christmas stockings at Christmas time and donates everything. So yeah. So you can be a good person and helpful and not be affiliated with the Mormons. Like it's,
Yeah, if anything, you get to be even a better person because you're not judging people by different standards.
Yes.
You're judging people on who they are and if they're good people and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because, it's so nice that you got out.
Yeah. And it's really, really awesome. My parents did too. It really is. Yeah. And they're so supportive of their son. Like my parents do go to another church, but it's super casual. My dad's like, they serve coffee at this church. He's so happy about that. I'm like, yes.
So he loves coffee.
See,
Does he drink?
Yes.
Does he drink now?
He does have a beer every once in a while. Yes. Nice. My mom's like, I tried it, but it's not really for me.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
It's not, yeah. But like, she'll take a sip of someone's just to say like, okay, I tried it.
Right.
But yeah, they promised each other they would not let that happen again, because that really did become a threat to their marriage.
Right.
I mean, if one of them said, I don't think this is true anymore, that's huge, because the other person might be like, well, then that's it. Because they put such an emphasis on marriage in the church. So fortunately, they both were like, yeah, these things don't add up. And I think it started with the founder of the church's story in how the Book of Mormon came about.
Okay.
Was that there was some huge war that happened in his neighborhood in upstate New York. So ancient Israelites they came from Jerusalem and they crossed the seas and they had this huge war. And then one of the prophets of old times buried plates that were engraved with what is now the Book of Mormon and buried them. Happened to be in Joe Smith's backyard in Palmyra, New York.
Okay.
And there's no evidence of there's not a single bone, not a single weapon.
Right.
Zero evidence of any war ever happening. And then they're like, oh, okay. Well, then the internet comes along and a lot of people are like, hey, this doesn't add up.
Right.
Why doesn't this, you get information from other places and it's like, hey, that's not adding up really. If this story is true, like they say, we should see evidence of that.
Right.
And then they'll cognitive dissonance comes along and, oh, no, it's not that hill where it was supposed to be found. It's someplace else in another country. And then it's like, why do you keep moving the goalposts? Like you're explaining away all this stuff that was taught to us as fact.
That's interesting. I wonder how many people, once like they could get information easier, were all like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
That would be interesting to see like the graph of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To see like people can start doing their own research easily with the internet. And then they're like, oh, wait, this one thing that I kind of always maybe had a little bit of a question is like, I'm not finding anything that's proving it. So therefore it might not be true.
And that goes back to the BITE model, the I in information. They control where you get your information. So they would say, if you don't get it from us, then it's anti-Mormon and stay away because that's Satan.
Ow.
But like, there's two sides of stories, right? Like, if you read what the church tells you, of course they're going to like scrub it and say, this is how it was. And this is, you know, how you should believe. But if you read the court documents, the diaries of people who lived around them at that same time, and hear the testimonies of other people, they were problematic. They, like, the founder of the church was tarred and feathered. He was arrested. He was on trial many, many times.
Oh, wow.
He was eventually arrested, and he was murdered while he was in jail. And he was running for president at the time of the U.S. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Also, like, you were tarred and feathered and you still got this $1 billion religion started?
Yep.
That's like some dedication.
Yeah, totally. Apparently he was a good storyteller. I don't know.
Guess.
But back then there was a lot of treasure digging at the time. And like artifacts from Egypt were coming out and being discovered. And that was like, whoa, this is this cool old thing. And he ended up buying some mummies and papyri, and part of them were missing. This part cracks me up so much. So he had this papyrus, and it was just an image of just a regular funeral procession of like, there's the jar, there's the body on the table, and then there's a person standing next to the body. And it's just like everyday life. It's just a depiction of everyday life. Well, the head was missing on part of it, and Joe Smith drew in the parts that he thought were missing. And he came up with a story about how this was supposed to be Abraham, and like, it's like, we know this is wrong, okay? Like, that was taken to Egyptologists later and was like, this is absolute bullshit. Right. He just drew that. Like, imagine, like, Egyptian body and, like, a happy face on it. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? You're not going, like, come on. But at the time, in the 1830s or 40s, he didn't know that people were going to crack the code on Egyptian symbols. And, like, he didn't know. He thought that was the language that's just gone.
Yeah, that's dead language. No one will ever be able to read this.
So he can make up anything he wants. See, this is an ancient record. And he truly just, like, drew anything he wanted and made up his own little story, and people believed it.
He must have been one hell of a charismatic person.
Oh, totally.
Like, has to be, right?
Totally.
Like, and then what, like, maybe a little crazy?
Yes.
Or, like, at least mentally unstable.
Yes.
You know, can't call people crazy, but, like, that's, like...
It's wild. He also would have, like, he would find a rock and say it's a seer stone, and he would go to people's homes and say, my seer stone can find treasure. If you give me some money, I'll use it to find treasure on your land. And they would be like, okay, let's see what you got. Because there was like pirates were burying their treasures, and all those stories were coming out at that time. And so people believed it. And so he was like, all right, the stone says I should go here. And then he would dig, and then he would make up a story about, oh, the spirit that was protecting it scared me off, and I wasn't able to do it. So sorry, no treasure for you. Right. And so like he would swindle people out of money like that. He was a con man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this rock. It's telling me where to find gold. Like, that's such a creative, like, con, too. Uh-huh. Like, if someone was like, hey, I found this rock, it tells me things, I'd be like, okay, guy, I gotta go. But, like, the fact that he can convince people, he found this rock in this guy's yard, but it's going to find treasure in your yard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he knew what he was doing. It was all planned. It was all, like, there are scriptures. So, like, they believe in the Bible and the Book of Mormon, and then there's a couple other books that were revelation given to him at that time in the 1830s. And a lot of it is, so his wife would be like, Joe, stop doing that. I don't want you doing that. Cut it out. And he would say, well, God said that I can. And so the scripture would say, woe unto those who say no to my servant. And then he would put his own name in it. And then he's like, see, God said I could do this. So unless you want to be smitten, you just let me do this.
Yeah.
And like, he would marry other women and girls without telling his actual wife because she, of course, was opposed to it.
Right.
But like, then you read the diaries and the testimonies of other people who were like, this guy came to our door and said, I want to marry your daughter. And like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
But back then, or people who are believing were like, well, no, that's an honor.
Right.
Because he's the prophet. And why wouldn't you want to be chosen?
Oh, it's so hard.
It's creepy.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Anytime someone wants you to marry your daughter, unless they're, yeah, that's just.
You got to know them. You got to understand them. You got to like get to know each other or something. You don't just like,
hey, I'm
you
going to marry
date
your
first.
kid. Yeah. But also.
And also a 14, 15-year-old? No.
No. Yeah.
Even back then, that's too young.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has it been interesting? Like, because you've been out now, like, what, 25 or 20 something years?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but do you still read a lot about it? Is it still like,
yeah.
It's still like a big thing in your life, it seems like.
Yeah, it's interesting to me to just be on the other side and hear about stories that I learned when I was young and just see it with a fresh pair of eyes and being on the other side of it. And it's like, well, wait a second. That's not an honor.
Right.
That's gross. Of course he was thrown in jail. He was a criminal.
Right.
He actually, I kind of can compare our current president to this guy because he would, there was a newspaper that was printing stories that were negative toward him.
Right.
And they're just printing the truth. He did those negative things. He just didn't want people to read about it. So one of the crimes he committed was having the printing press destroyed, and he set it on fire.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, yeah, that's happening today too. Like, oh, I don't like what you're saying about me. I'm just going to shut that down and destroy you.
Yeah.
And didn't care about the consequences, didn't care about anything else or changing. So, and their followers they think that loyalty is a virtue and they stick to it no matter what. And I absolutely am opposed to our current president. I hate him. If there was ever a way for anybody to be dismissed from this earth, I want it to be him.
Right.
But I understand also the way of thinking that like logic and facts don't matter. Yeah. They truly don't. They feel that this is their hero, their leader. He's the only one who can get us out of whatever it is. And like, they, not blindly, but they just are so devoted. And it's like changing that and coming out of it, you lose your social network, you lose your friends, you don't know what to do otherwise. But there is life beyond that. And yeah, it's hard to see when some people, like I have a family member who is very much still a supporter. And it's like, yeah, but logic, but facts, but look at all this stuff. And it still is like, no, I'm unwavering. And that's virtuous and that's like good to them.
Yeah. That's actually a more positive way to look at it than I probably have been. But it is a very similar thought pattern. And it makes it almost easier to digest. Yeah. That because that people got, and I don't know when it happened, but people have gotten their identity so wrapped up into politics, into like one political affiliation. Yeah. Where it's become like part of who they are. And like politics was never like that when I was young.
No, me neither.
And people weren't like that when I was young. Like they were like, okay, we all want to get here, but maybe we have different ways of getting there. but we can hear each other out and take like the best of both sides.
Sure, yeah.
But now it's all like, I want this for me. It's all about me. It's me, me, me. And that person is what I want from my life. So that's the best. And that's all we're doing.
Yeah. And we'll cheat to get there, and we'll do anything that it takes to get there.
Yeah. And as long as me and the few people I like have enough, then we don't care about anyone else.
Right. Yeah. And that's just, I have such a hard time wrapping my head around that, because their teachings are to be kind to your neighbors. If you're going to boil down anything from the Bible, it's that.
Right.
And it's like, well, why aren't you? Oh, well, trans people are whatever, and they're not supposed to be like that. And it's like, well, if you believe in a creator and they are here, don't you think he created or she created them?
Right.
Like, why? But it's also very much like people will believe what they want, and they're so picky and choosy about which rules they'll follow.
Yeah. And that, when I was saying earlier, that one of the conversations I had with that priest when I was young was like, okay, so God created everything and God's never wrong. And he's like, right. I'm like, okay, so if you're gay, it's not a choice. So, and God created you, God's never wrong. So God chose you to be gay because that's what you are. So how does that, but now we don't like them and we don't want them to be around us or come to our church. But so God didn't create them? And he was like, yeah, well, you have to.
You got me there.
And I was like, I just make that work for me.
Uh-huh. Well, so I also went through that questioning too with Mormonism. And what I was told is that gay people are choosing to be gay. And that's the biggest thing, is that they believe that they're being sexual deviants, and it's the same as bestiality, and it's the same as, they really do not know any gay people. First of all, if they did, they would see that it's actually not that.
Right.
But they don't have any other explanation to explain it away.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people are afraid of drag queens reading books to kids. It's like, well, they're sexual deviants and they're confused and they should be what I think they should be.
Right.
And then it's like, well, like we were saying at the very beginning, why do you care?
Right.
It doesn't affect you. And like, when you really look at the facts, who is it that are threatening children?
Right.
It's cis white men.
Yep. Yeah.
Most often clergy.
Yeah.
You look at the facts, and that's what it is.
In every religion.
In every religion.
Yeah. And it's then the church protecting those people.
Yep.
And then that's where, like, if they didn't protect them, maybe I could give them a different level of whatever, respect or understanding. But you protect people that you know are hurting kids.
Yes.
And then you're pointing over here, like, look over there, look over there, look over there. That's what I have a problem with.
Yes.
If they were, like, excommunicating everyone that had done something wrong instead of moving them and hiding them and doing all of that, then I could be like, you are really living what you're preaching. But they all do this like thing to protect the people that are doing the worst shit.
Yes.
And like that, I can't. There, you lose me.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You're going to treat like a drag queen doesn't want to touch your kids. Their clothing are expensive and they've spent a lot of work on that. Like, they don't want your grubby little kids' hands on them. Like, they're performers and they reading to kids is one way they get to perform.
Yes. And kids love it.
Right. Because drag queens are like bigger. They're just performers.
Yes.
That's their alter ego of being like a bigger, more like
exaggerated, vivacious. Yeah.
And so, like, if you can just step back and take, like, the fact that it's a man in women's clothing out and look at it as just a performer, like, that's just, it's a different type of clown costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you're okay with a man coming dressed as a clown to play with your kids, I assure you that clown is probably more dangerous than a drag queen.
Yes.
Right? Like, but somehow a clown is acceptable.
It's because they're so fixated on the binary.
Yeah.
It has to be man or woman. Otherwise, you're trying to trick me. You're trying to, some beefcake puts on a wig and tries to go play in trans sports, and that's not fair. And it's like, are you like, stop. It's not that. It's not that binary.
But you think a guy with a rock is a good choice.
Yeah, right. Like, show me how that makes sense.
Right. You're like, oh no, but don't let that drag queen come near you. But the guy with a rock might find you treasure in your yard.
Treasure?
Treasure? Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I also found out kind of recently, that if a person was to go to their bishop, their Mormon bishop, and say, maybe confess that they hurt someone, the bishop is literally instructed not to call the police, not to call CPS, not to call for help for the victim. They call this 1-800 hotline. That hotline phone number goes to the church's lawyers to take care of the situation, to make the church still look good. And that kind of like, and I've heard of all the other churches too, like they'll just send the person away.
Yep.
So what? He can do it to other people too? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, it's very maddening, very maddening.
The cardinal that I grew up with from Boston is, I think he's still alive, but he's in the Vatican and he can't leave because if he left, he would go to jail.
Dude.
Yeah.
So instead, he's rewarded.
Yeah, so now he's in a place that has the biggest art collection in the entire world, just hanging out.
Protected as fuck.
Yep, getting served meals and probably wine and like.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Are there family members of yours that still are practicing?
Not some of them. No, I don't think so. But growing up, we were very lapsed Catholic early.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school all 12 years of school.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it
tried
all girls or
my high school was. I graduated with 38 girls in my graduating class. Like really small. Yeah. Small, very private, run by nuns. And in the back of our school was like a nun retirement home. So like every once in a while a nun would like get loose and we'd have to go find her on the grounds.
Sister Mary, no.
Yeah. My freshman year in high school I tried to get kicked out.
What'd you do?
I told the nun that she was a fucking problem and I hated her. I was so so we had like a couple run-ins because I went on my a CYO trip, Catholic Youth Organization, before freshman year of high school. Was it? Yeah, it had to be. And so I got blessed by the Pope twice. Like I was within like 10 feet of the Pope in his little Pope mobile in Paris. Yep. So we get to school and like we're talking about it and one of the nuns is like, "Who was it?" I'm like, "It was me." And she's like, very funny, but who was it? I'm like, "It was me." What?
Not you.
Yeah. Well, because we were also the kids from like the wrong side of the highway. Like I grew up in Boston, like so we were from West Roxbury, and I went to school in Newton, which is like a higher socioeconomical city.
Okay.
And it's very Jewish actually, but it's very rich, and like a couple colleges are there. And so I went to school there, and we were like the girls from the wrong side of Route 9.
I love that so much.
Like one day she had us, like there was 12 of us or 11 of us that were all like, I went to high school with probably a half dozen girls that I went to grammar school with. Mm-hmm. But like they basically told us one day that they wanted us to be like the rest of the girls. And I was like, what the fuck? The only difference is where they are from. And I was like, oh, like these are terrible people. And then my best friend from that, like all through kindergarten, our families were really close. Our brothers are best friends. Mm-hmm. Her dad had a heart attack one morning and died. And she was like an off the rails kid since we were like young. Like she was the wild one and I was like the more timid, like shit will go sideways and we're gonna die kind of person. Oh. And she'd be like, "We're going partying."
This reminds me of Dairy Girls.
Yep. Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she kind of was off the rails before he died, but then they paid attention to her. Oh. And then they were like, she's acting out because of this and this. And I'm like, this is always who she's been. You guys just never cared before. Mm-hmm. So eventually she left school. And when she left, I was like, I'm out too. Ooh. And I went to my parents. I'm like, I'm leaving, like not staying here. And they wouldn't let me leave. And so I was like, I'll take care of myself. But my mom had gotten into like a fight with the principal at one point and like screamed at her across the table. And like, I was like, so I was shocked at the way my mother like came back at this nun one day. And then they never called my mom, like almost ever. So like I got into a fight one morning with the Sister Sue and I was like, "You're my only fucking problem. Like I fucking hate you." Like,
fuck you, Sister Sue.
Yeah. And like I was so excited. I think I called her a cunt. I was so excited. I got home and I was like waiting for something to happen. And I was like, and my brother's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, giddy. Like, I was so excited that I was like, I'm totally getting suspended or expelled. Like, there's no way she's going to let this go. And finally my mother's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "She didn't call you?" And she's like, "Why would she call me?" And then like, I was getting yelled at. I'm like, "Seriously?" And my mom was like, what did you do? I'm like, I'm out of there. Like, I told her to go fuck herself. Like, I'm leaving. My mom's like, you did not. I'm like, I did. Like, I'm like, ask Kelly. Like, and she's like, no, she hasn't called. And I was like, all right, well, tomorrow she's going to call.
Yeah.
And then I walked into school the next morning and she was standing there and she's like, how are we today? And I was like, fine, I guess. Like, I was so mad. I mean, she probably knew what I was trying to do.
Oh, maybe.
Like, she'd been a principal a long time, but I was so mad.
Yeah.
And I just hated high school. Like, it was cliquey and it was all girls that was just mean and like, yeah. Like, I would like go to school with like, no makeup on and in sweatpants when we could instead of our uniform. And like other girls would be like, I can't believe you didn't even like try. I'm like, well, who am I impressing? You?
Yeah.
Like, I was very
That's hard because all of you were oppressed.
Yeah.
And controlled.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not everybody takes it the same way. And it's like, you can either like make the best of it or you can just be like, like, ooh, that's, yeah. But did you graduate from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I learned how to write really well from there. I learned how to do research. Like, they gave me a good education, but I hated it. And like, I was always, I'd leave school and be like, if I wasn't at work, I would be at the boys' school down the street hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And like all the priests at the Catholic school down the street knew me. They had like nicknames for me. Like at one point they were like, we should probably give her a page in the yearbook. And then the principal was like, we're not giving Miss Kelly a page in the yearbook. Like, because I was like, I'm going to go hang out with the boys because they're more my speed. And like, we can talk sports and like talk shit and it's much better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I still have friends that I went to high school with and grammar school with. Like, they're all back east. But yeah, like, whenever I go home, we have dinner and it's really great. But yeah, growing up, my parents stopped going to church because they were just working a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we were kind of middle, maybe a little lower middle class. Like, so they both worked a lot.
Yeah.
So it was just like going to church for an hour and a half or whatever. It was not.
It wasn't anything more than that. Yeah. Yeah, well, high demand religions like Mormonism or like Seventh Day or like the J-Dubs, like they were like, you don't do this, you don't do that. They control the behavior. There was like, it's more than just where you go to church on Sunday. It was like Tuesday night was the teenagers have their program and then every Monday night you're supposed to be with your family, so you're not supposed to go anywhere. And they really kept you busy.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, like then the Catholic Church wasn't like that. But both my parents grew up kind of lapsed Catholic. My dad is one of 13. Yeah.
Woo.
And my mom is one of 8.
Okay, yeah.
And so they grew up like their parents, they didn't grow up rich. So like they were all very hustling and working and so like they just didn't have much of a religion.
Yeah.
So like
they didn't have time for it.
Yeah. And so like I went to Catholic school mostly because in Boston you either went to a Catholic school because the public schools were so crappy.
Oh.
And we had busing. So I would have to go like a bus and 2 trains to get to the school if I went to a public school.
Whoa.
Because you can't go to school in your neighborhood because of all the race stuff.
Oh.
Like neighborhoods were very segregated for a long time. And so like they did busing to help change that.
Yeah, yeah.
But that meant you were getting shipped across the city. Oh my God. So it was like, okay, your kid can either go on public transit or you can send them to school in your neighborhood. You just have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you do what you can with what you have. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm grateful for it, even though I hated all of high school.
Yeah, but I did not like high school either. I ended up putting my yearbooks in the recycle bin because I was like, why do I need to hang on to this?
Yeah, I still have mine in like the back of my closet at my parents' house.
Yeah.
My parents, still live in the house I grew up in.
Wow.
Which is really,
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents have been together since they were like 16 or 17.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's been like, it's really nice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know like my family's all really close. So my mom and her sisters are together. They all live within like 45 minutes of each other.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really nice.
Cool.
It's just religion wasn't our real thing.
Yeah, my folks are still together after, I think, 54 years or something. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's sweet. As a person who is divorced, I didn't grow up with a lot of divorces.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, when I was getting divorced, my mom was like, are you sure you have to do this? And it was like, a little bit of like, we don't have a lot of that in the family. And I was like, oh yeah, we do. And my dad was like, yes, she does.
Yeah, good.
Like,
yeah.
we're not staying in this.
Yeah.
But it was very much like there was a little bit of like that, what's the judgment going to be?
Right. That expectation, especially from a mom, because like I've heard people say like, well, actually, my boyfriend, when I was like 20, he chose to not do his mission.
Oh.
And that brought big shame on his mom. It was like, how can I show myself in school or at church if like my son's not doing what he's, and that big D divorce is like, oh, that's a giant no. And it's like, well, do you want your daughter to be happy?
Right.
You want her to have her own life and make her own choices? Like, that's more important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know that guy? Did he leave the church, I wonder?
I don't think so. So I'm kind of embarrassed about this. So when we were dating, I told him I wanted to marry a returned missionary.
Okay.
And because he didn't want to go on a mission, I was like, ultimatum. And I stood by it because back then I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And he ended up changing his mind and going on a mission.
Oh.
He turned in his paperwork. He said, I'm going to do it after all. His mom loved me for that.
Right.
And when he was away, he got sent to England, which is like, okay, that's where they went at the beginning of Mormonism. They started knocking on doors over there.
Okay.
So these are doors that have been knocked on for 100 plus years. And so it was a struggle for him. He didn't want to be there. He had a really hard time. He complained a lot. And when we would write letters back and forth, it was like, I thought I was being the good girlfriend and saying like, it's okay, you can do it, rah, rah, rah.
Right.
And he's like, no, I really don't like this. And he came close to coming home early. And I was like, yeah, I can't be with you if you come home early. I'm so embarrassed. It's so hypocritical too, because I had an opportunity to go on a mission too. And I was like, no.
Oh.
I'm a girl. I'm supposed to stay home.
Oh, interesting.
I know. It's cringy to say that, but like, that's just what, I was 20 years old.
Honest. Yeah. You're 20. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And my bishop was like, come on, you should go. You should really think about it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to.
Because you don't know where you're going to go until you
don't know.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's not like you get to pick.
Nope. Not at all. So that's why some people are sent to Arizona.
Yeah.
And there's a joke that's like, okay, if you're really righteous, you'll go to a different country and learn a new language. And if you're not that righteous, you'll just go to Arizona or
Boston.
Utah. Yeah. Yeah.
Freeze your ass off in Boston.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then you're gone. Are you in that one place for the 2 years?
Yes. For the most part.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be. Sometimes things happen. And like, for example, I have a friend who got sent to, what's it called? Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And it was really like weird as far as like allowing Americans to be there.
Okay.
And so like they had passport issues. And so like they'll send somebody somewhere else to fulfill the whole 2 years.
Right.
If they need to.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so my boyfriend at the time, he did end up finishing his 2 years and he came home and I was like, I don't know. We went our separate ways.
Yeah. You're like, good job. I still don't want to marry you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. Who also, I mean, what 20-year-olds really wants to get married?
Mormon ones do.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if you're not chosen and not picked to have a spouse, and it's very much like told, you will be pretty and someone will come to you.
Yeah.
Then you're fucked. If you're 30 years old, they have it organized so that young single adults ages 18 to 29, they have their own congregation. Once you turn 30, you're in the old people congregation. Like they literally tell
segregate you,
get out of this congregation, you go to this other one.
That is a lot of control.
Oh yeah. So when I was 30, I was like, I mean, I was out of the church, but like even at 25, I was like, I'm a spinstress. I haven't gotten picked.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot to grow up with.
It is.
Yeah.
But, like my family has a sense of humor about it now. All of my siblings and I saw the Book of Mormon musical. And that was...
Did you love it?
I died. It was so funny. It's my favorite musical.
Oh my God. I saw it when I was young too in Boston. And it was just, oh my God. I was like, what am I watching? But also I loved it. Like, it is so inappropriate and funny.
Yes. I mean, it's Trey and Matt. Of course, it's going to be inappropriate, but like, there's so many little jokes where it was like, and then the actor dressed up looking like Joe Smith, like from the painting. I was like, it was like a kid seeing Mickey Mouse at Disneyland for the first time after seeing him in a drawing for so long. It was like,
oh my gosh.
I peed my pants. That was the best show ever.
Oh yeah. Whenever it comes, it was just here, I think.
It was just here, yeah.
Because Holly just went. And I was like, oh, I wish I'd known. I would have gotten tickets to it.
Yeah. Or entered the lottery. I got a lottery ticket.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like a couple years ago, you can enter your name in the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good show.
I'll have to look into that.
It's so good.
Oh, I love any kind of play or musical. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I've loved the theater since I was a kid.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 musicals? As far as a play goes, like not mention like movies.
Wicked.
Ooh, yeah.
Wicked was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's hard.
Top 5.
Might be Lion King. And then Phantom.
Okay.
I'm a purist for Phantom.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of good shows, though.
Ooh, yeah.
What are yours?
I'm a fan of Wicked also. And Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Oh, yes.
Is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. Book of Mormon, definitely. Yeah, I like theater too. I like a lot of like musicals and stuff. Yeah.
I saw at Christmas time, is it 7?
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was fun. I got to take my niece and nephew are huge theater kids now too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've both been in different musicals in their school.
See, I wish I was a theater kid in high school because those was like truly the cool kids.
Yeah. We didn't have theater at my high school because it was too small.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was in the neighborhood children's theater, NCT, which was like the kids' public theater in Boston. And so we would like perform in Faneuil Hall. Like we had little shirts with our names on it and we would go down and like sing and dance and we would put on a couple plays.
Cute.
Yeah.
Would you write the plays or are they just...
No, we did like My Fair Lady and Fiddler on the Roof and all of that. Like, yeah. Oh, I have My Fair Lady. I love. I've never seen it live. I've been in it, but I haven't. But ensemble. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. Well, Fiddler on the Roof is big in my family too because that's like our ancestry is Jewish.
Okay.
And so going back to the mission thing, there's a connection between that because like once my grandmother passed away, we found out that she had changed her name. Oh. And nobody knew, and like not even her husband or my dad didn't know, and this was his mom. So she grew up very Jewish from Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
A small village in Ukraine. Her grandfather and great-grandfather were rabbis.
Oh.
In this tiny Jewish community. And then the war happened and they fled and they were able to escape and everything. But we had no idea that was going to happen or that had happened until after she passed away. My parents found some photos and on the back they would write their names. And my dad was like, why is this name here?
Right.
This name is Bronstein. Like, that's not our family name.
Right.
And so it was revealed that she had changed her name and ran away from home. And my dad had no idea. So weirdly, this is kind of weird. This was in the 90s, the early 90s. My brother was preparing to go on his mission. And you'll never believe where he was sent.
Ukraine.
To Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was sent there to be in the same area as like our great-great-grandparents.
Wow.
Before they fled to the U.S.
That's a weird little...
That's weird.
Yeah. That's a little weird little nod from the universe.
Yes.
You're like, there's some information you got to figure out.
Yep.
Wow.
So then when my brother finished his 2 years, my parents decided to go fly over there and meet him there. And they got to tour around the Donetsk and like see where our ancestry came from. So like that was a really wild discovery that I don't know how common that is. Like, I mean, I'm sure people have fled their, you know, oppressive, or not oppressive, but like my grandma felt like she wasn't able to be herself.
Right.
So she fled her religion.
Right. Well, I'm sure, especially if it's a time of the war, it's very scary to be Jewish.
Yes.
You know, like there was a lot of that, I think, happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So her family moved to Pittsburgh. And from there, she was like, I'm out. So she ran away to LA and like had a great time. She was like in LA in the 1945, 46.
Yeah.
She ran away with her best friend, and her best friend swore that she is who she is. So she got a new name, new ID. It was easy to get a new personality, a whole new identity. And so they like both got married and had kids, and they stayed in each other's lives the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great kind of origin story.
Yeah. And then for that to happen to my family too, it's like getting away from
the religion and living your best lives.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think you had said it earlier, and I think it's like worth just highlighting again. Is like changing is really hard.
Yes.
And like it is scary.
Yes.
And I think we don't talk about that part of life enough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I left like when you get divorced, you lose everything. Like I had lived in the town he grew up in for almost 10 years. So like all of my friends were his friends. Like it was all like when I left, I went back for something, and when I walked into the room, because he and I were trying to separate very like amicably, and like, you know, we'd been together a long time. And I walked into a room, and people that I'd known for years wouldn't even look at me. And I was just like, what? Like, and it was so hard to stand there. But like my mother-in-law had passed away. So I went to her memorial. I loved her. She was an amazing woman.
Yeah.
And so she died while we were separated. But I was there for as much as I could be, and like, you know, trying to help support from, even though I was extracting myself. Yeah. And I went to her wake, and people that I'd known for years wouldn't even look in my direction. And I didn't expect that because we had been friends. Like I'd been taking care of their kids over the years. Like all of their kids called me auntie. I would go down and babysit them for a week at a time when they went on vacation. Like I was involved in these people's lives. And then all of a sudden they were just like nothing. And I was like, I'm not leaving because it's easy. Like I'm leaving so I don't kill myself or get killed, or, you know, like it hasn't been a good situation in a long time. Yeah. And instead of being there for us both in this hard time, it was like, nope, we chose him, and that's it.
And you have to be against the other person if you choose him. Like that's,
and I'm like standing there trying to mourn the loss of this woman who I loved, and then I'm standing there being hated on by the people that were my community. And like it was one of the hardest weekends I've ever had. Yeah. But in that moment, I also knew I made the right decision, because people that cared about me wouldn't treat me like that.
Yes.
That wouldn't be how I would treat anyone that I knew was going through not one hard time, but two hard times. Like that's never how I'm going to operate. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so this sucks. And like, I don't have like a community anymore, but at least I don't have that community. Yeah. And it was like, and one of my friends said to me, she was like, well, you know, sometimes the trash takes itself out. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, and it was a hard thing to swallow, but it was also like, I love my life now. Like, and I have people in my life that would never do that. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm sure you have the same, like you've then got to build this life that's really yours, and you get to be authentically you and get to be loved and accepted for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, because when you're surrounded by that community, those are like the people that you know and love, and like it's hard to see something on the other side of that. Yeah. You don't know for sure. There's no guarantees. No. Ooh, I'm sorry you went through that. But like,
yeah, but it's also like, now I know I'll never kind of put like you're never going to join a church that's like that. You know what I mean? Like you won't ever put yourself in those positions again. But I think like there was a good like 6 months where like I had very little interaction with people, because I was like, okay, let me figure out what I did to put myself in that situation and like how to make sure that I don't do that again. And like, what was I doing to like make myself small to fit in that, and just examining it. And it was hard, and like therapy was great, but it sucked.
Yeah.
But then you start to get little glimmers of the life that you're creating, and it's the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I think like because people are like, just change your life, and I'm like, change your life, it's gonna suck at first. Like if you hate your life now, like the changing of it seems harder.
Yes.
But like once you can move through it and give yourself a little time, it gets so much better.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that a lot of people stay in their religions for that reason, is because it's comfortable, it's safe to them.
Yeah.
Even though they may not believe in it fully, but like it's scary to think about that. And so there are some people who live in Utah specifically who work for the organization. Their job is on the line if they're not going to church.
Right.
Or they could get kicked out of school if they're not attending. And like for a long time at BYU, if a guy had sideburns that were too long, he'd be like reprimanded. And like that level of control, it's like, and maybe in your marriage or your husband may have been kind of controlling. And then when you're doing something that's out of his control, do you think that could be?
Oh yeah, it definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah. Very slowly, he like would tell me how I could and couldn't act, and it was really slow.
Oh, no.
And then when we moved to his town where he was from, like I went to yell at someone for cutting me in line, and he was like, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "That guy's just being an asshole."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But that's so and so, and you can't do that." And I'm like, "I don't care who that is. Like, that doesn't excuse it." And he was like, "We live in a small town now. You can't act like that." And like, it was very slow like that. And then one day it was just like, "Oh, hold on a second. I'm not allowed to pick out my own clothes."
Oh no.
Like it was very like, it was like a trickle of it. And then it was just one day I was just like, "What do you mean I'm not allowed to do this?" Like, when do you ever know me to be letting someone else allow me to do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like,
that shows he really did not know you.
Or he didn't want to.
Or he didn't want to.
Yeah. I think he liked the idea of me, but not actually me. And so he helped shape me into being what he wanted. Yeah. And I was in love and just young. And then, yeah.
I was in a relationship too that was similar. And like, at first it was, because he was very like friendly and open in public, but then when we got home, he would like say things that like, "Why did you do that? You shouldn't do that." Or, "Here, let me tell you what you should be doing right now." And same thing. It's a slow trickle. It's a little bit at a time. And then it got to the point where he would like scream at me and berate me and like, and then what? Like, you don't just walk away, or at least I didn't feel like I could.
Yeah.
But like, because I built this life and he's nice to all my friends and like, there's so many other things. But it wasn't until a friend gave me the keys to her house that I felt like I could actually leave. I needed to have the next step. Otherwise, I would have been like, because I was way too dependent on him. He paid the rent. I didn't have a car. Like, I was dependent on him. And I don't like being in that situation.
Yeah. I had a really bad injury. And so I had been out of work, and I'd had a bunch of procedures and surgeries. And there was a chance I was going to lose my arm. And like, there was a whole bunch of stuff that had happened. And then I was on the doctors gave me, like, I was on fentanyl for a long time, prescribed, and I was just like a zombie. And when I first started kind of coming out of it, a bunch of people were like, "It's you, like, you're back. There's a light in your eye." And he would get mad. And I was like, why is he getting mad that I'm getting healthy? And that was like one flag. And I was like, everyone else is telling me they're excited to like see me back to life. And he's mad that I'm doing things. And then he changed a job again, and he had to be away for a couple weeks, and he was gone. And I just felt this like relief.
Oh yeah.
And I was like doing things and going out of the house again, and like just meeting a friend for coffee, like nothing huge.
Yeah.
But like I would take my dog to a different park, and like just my world started to get a little bit bigger. And I was like, wait a second, I'm not me anymore. Like, and he would come home every couple of weeks, and it would just be like my anxiety and like the tension of it. And I was like, okay, something's not right.
Yes.
And then a few of my friends were like, yeah, we've noticed some things.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, yeah, I feel like he would just get drunk and be really mean, and then be like, oh, I don't remember it. And I'm like, I think you hate me. Like, I think and then he wanted kids and I never did. And then that was a whole thing. And so it was, but I was like, if I can just get back to where we used to be.
Right. That's the thing that just keeps you just keep wanting it to get better. You want to fix it. You want to get better. And it just doesn't.
Yeah. Ooh. And then I was just like, I said to one of my friends, like, I don't think this is getting better. I think it's getting worse. And she's like, I think it's been bad for a while.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're not you anymore.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I got to fix that.
Yeah. That's great to have friends that are able to, who say something like that, because I'm glad you got out of that too. Cause like, if you stop feeling like yourself, and I was in the same situation too, where he would make me feel bad if I wanted to go meet a friend for coffee or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm here by myself. Like, I don't know. Are you an older sibling? Do you have younger siblings?
I have an older sibling. I'm the youngest.
You're the young. Oh, okay.
But I'm on the older side of all my cousins. So I started babysitting when I was 9.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I am like the older one.
Okay.
Even though I only have one older brother.
Okay.
But I have like 70 or 80 first cousins.
Holy shit.
And I know most of them.
What? I have one.
Oh no,
that's
my
wild.
Crazy. Yeah,
that's
and until
wild.
my 20s, I saw most of them like a couple days a week, at least every Sunday.
Wow.
Like my dad and I would go over to his mom's house, and she had a 3-family house, and there was always multiple people living there, and the kids would be there, or kids would get dropped off to be babysat while people were working. So there was always like a dozen kids there. And then we'd go to dinner at my grandmother's house, and my mom and all of her siblings would come for dinner almost every Sunday.
Wow.
And then their kids.
Wow.
So like we would have dinner, like when we do Thanksgiving dinner, my mom, her sister has always hosted. For like last 45 years, they have a sit down dinner. And so it's usually between 25 and 30 to 40 people.
Is that in Boston?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think part of that whole thing too is like I have big sister syndrome, and I feel like I need to take care of other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like women are socialized to believe to put their needs aside and make sure everybody else is comfortable before we take care of ourselves. And I think that abusive people look to that. They look for people like us who are empathetic, who are friendly and care for people, because unfortunately we make good prey.
Yeah.
And
I love taking care of people. It's one of the reasons why I love bartending. Yeah. Because I get to take care of people in a way that I can also now tell them go fuck themselves if I need to.
Yep.
But I get to take care of people. I love taking care of people. It's like one of my things.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I realized like I was taking care of my husband back then like that, like all of a sudden one day I was like, oh my God, I'm my mother.
Ooh.
Like I'm doing all the laundry. I do all the shopping. I make sure everything is set for him so he doesn't have to worry about it. And I was like, when did that happen? Like I never even wanted to get married. And now I'm like Susie Homemaker.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is not, I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
But there was a big part of me that was really happy because I was in love. Like I was like, I love him. He's like a great person.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, he might not be a great person.
Yeah. And is that when you moved to California, when you divorced?
About a year and a half after I left.
Okay.
Yeah, I was home with my parents, and I luckily had them to kind of go home to because I hadn't worked in a few years because of my injury.
Yeah, yeah.
I deal with chronic pain, so it's terrible. Like I have a disability rating because of it. Like, and I was like, I'm gonna get back to it, like get back to being healthy. So I went home to my parents, and I had to have another surgery and just get healthy again. And I was there for about a year. Ooh, and I was like, all right, I've been home in my parents' house for a year. Like I'm 38 years old and like I need to figure something out. Mm-hmm. And one of my cousins was out here. So she's like, hey, come out for a couple weeks. Like you can come, I'll show you what I'm doing. Like, just come out. And I was like, fuck it. I have nothing else going on.
Sure, yeah.
So I packed my car, took the little bit of money I had and came out here and figured I'd come out for a couple weeks and just see. Yeah. And I haven't left.
Wow.
It was awesome. I moved out here a month before the pandemic started.
Fuck.
So I'm like driving out here, all by myself, driving across the country. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to build a whole life. I'm going to start dating. Like, I'm going to be like, sexual revolution and party. And like, I'm going to be in the Bay Area. And then the universe was like, shh, sit down. No. You're not ready.
So
oh. And we'll just shut the whole world down.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
But it was a really great time to like ease back into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rehabilitating and like learning how to be yourself and like understanding yourself again. And yeah.
So it was a lot of days like just by myself in like my apartment here and like working and taking long walks and just like I would go listen to like either a biography or self-help book and just walk for hours and just be like thinking through things and therapy and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. But it was really hard at times, but it was, now I love everything about my life so much.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I'm a huge believer in like, if you don't like it, you can change it.
Yeah.
And that it's not easy, but
it's definitely not easy, but there is life on the other side of those choices.
Yeah.
That's something actually I've been thinking about a lot too, is like changing the narrative that you're used to. And this last weekend, I went to a screening of a documentary about Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
And she's a musician, producer, songwriter. And there's a documentary about her. Some of my former students got to perform with her. They sang the song Beautiful. She wrote that song for Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
And
she's written a lot of songs.
She's written a lot. Yeah. She's produced a lot.
Yeah.
And the title of the documentary is Let It Die Here. And she talks a lot about her mom and how abusive her mom was. And then toward the end of her mom's life, she had a choice to make. She could continue to repeat in her mind, my mom's abusive, she hates me, she's a terrible person. Or she can stop, let that die here, and create a brand new way of thinking about her mom. And the last couple of months before her mom passed away, she's like, that's the mom that I wanted. I was able to do that. And that's so hard, especially because it's like a parent is supposed to be blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But like, we all have it in us to change the narrative.
Yep.
And it is not easy to do, but you are able to do that if it's something that's worthy of changing it. You know, like, you know, if somebody's being an asshole, like, you don't have to change your narrative. They're blatantly being an asshole. But like, you know, there's certain things that I think sometimes too, people in my life where it's like, that person is whatever, unhelpful. That person is negative. That person, but it's also important to latch onto the good parts too and like remind yourself, okay, that's not going to define that person.
Right.
I can believe that they're trying. I can believe that they have their own personal struggles. And the more I am open to hearing that, like I just tell myself, there's more to the story that I don't know.
Yeah.
And it has been helpful for me too to move ahead and build stronger connections with people. Connecting with people is hard because I moved around so much.
Right.
And I never really got to like, I would love for my parents to live in the house that I grew up with.
Right.
Or grew up in and like visit my old, you know, bedroom or whatever. But like they moved around so much too. And so I never really got a chance to put down some strong roots until where I am now. I've lived in Alameda for 14 years and it's the longest I've ever lived in a city. My job currently with the Bay Area Music Project, I'm finishing my 9th year. That's the longest job I've ever had.
Wow. Yeah.
Usually it's 2 years, 4 years. 4 years, I think, was the longest I've had before this. Part of that, I think, is my ADHD. I'm like, I'm ready for the next thing. What else is happening? But my job in the after school program is it keeps me moving and there's different things. And when summer comes, I switch to my summer camps. And when it's school time, I have that. And so like,
it switches it up enough for you to keep it fresh.
Yes. It's like a new job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get to make new rules every year. I get to, so like, yeah, I was saying like being able to change the narrative is important. And like, I really want long lasting friends, like quality over quantity. And anytime I would move when I was a kid, I would wait for people to approach me and say, oh, you're the new girl. Come sit with us. And that didn't happen very often. When I left church, I didn't know what the rules were in society.
Right.
So I didn't know how to act. So I waited again for people to come to me.
Right.
And, it's something that I'm learning is like, I got to put the effort in if I want to make lasting relationships. And and like with dating too, like I've been dating for a long time. And usually what happens is I'll meet somebody and we'll have a good first date. Maybe we'll have a second date, but then I'm like, he said something that I didn't like, or he did this and I didn't like that. So forget it. And I'm able to just like go on to the next thing.
Right.
And it's like, wait a second, I don't really want that. I want to build something. And so I have to be able to change the narrative and be like, okay, well, why did he say that? And what does he mean really? And I don't really stop to ask because I don't know how to bring that up.
Right.
Without, like, I kind of feel like I've been a people pleaser for a long time. And I feel like I don't want to challenge somebody. If that's who they are, that's who they are. And like, rather than coming from a place of, I want to understand your point of view, I always felt like, oh, if I'm challenging them, I might make them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's something that I'm learning. And after watching that documentary this weekend, I was like, man, that's really a powerful thing. And it got me really thinking about that.
Yeah.
And thinking about, why is it that I move on to the next person? Or like, if something's not going well, if a roommate or whatever, I'm like, oh, I don't like this, I'm out. Right. I'm moving. Or a job. Yeah. A job is a very common thing for me to be like, I don't like how this is going, I'm out.
Yeah. It's like the friction of, like, I learned early that you can love someone, not like them. Because when you have a big family like that, there's personalities. You're not going to like everyone. But like, so I learned early that you can love someone and not like them. Yeah. And that you can like someone and not love them. Yeah. Like, it was like I think that was like a superpower of having so many people. Oh, yeah. And getting to watch people respond to the same event with such different reactions. Yeah. Was like, oh, you can decide if something is going to ruin your life or not. Right. Like, this happened and this person was sad. And then they're like, okay, now I'm over it. Where this person is like, keeps talking about it. So it was like, oh, you get to kind of choose how you respond to something. Yeah, yeah. And so like, I watched the struggles and fights from people over the years of like, they would get into a stupid fight and not talk for months and then become friends again. Like, oh, so you can just be really mad at someone and still want them in your life. Yeah. But I think that when you don't have big families or you don't have that, and especially in a church where something's so like, you kind of have to live in secret. Because if anything is wrong, then you get in trouble. Yeah, I could see why that would be a hard thing to kind of settle into. Yeah, it is hard. And like, I guess being young and in the church, you just kind of follow the guidelines that are already set out for you. I never learned how to be like, this makes me uncomfortable. And I never learned to speak up for myself. I never learned to like really talk with somebody about, oh, this is bothering me. Because like the relationship I had before with the abusive person, I would bring up my feelings and he would gaslight me. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, okay, I guess I was wrong. And then like a couple other times where I would explain my feelings and someone would be like, they would do what I have done to other people. I'm out. Yeah. And it's like, what? That's not fair. Yeah. So like, wait a second, I'm doing that too. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I am learning now that I'm 50. I'm learning now to like, okay, I can take that nuance. I can take someone's opinion. I can take their personality and like still care about them, but also know that they're not trying to hurt me or that they're not going to abandon me. Right. Or, any other of those fears that I've been having for a while. Yeah. Yeah. It is a hard lesson to learn. Yeah. Because I have a hard time letting people in sometimes because I'm guarded because I was so hurt by people. Yes. So like sometimes I keep things very surface. And like I'm like, I have to let people in. Like I have to let people, and it can be really hard and scary. Yeah, it can. Yeah. Like, and I always feel like I can't depend on it. Like I can't ask for help because if I ask for help, they're probably going to disappoint me and then I won't be able to be friends with them anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then I'll just not ask. I have the same thing. I'll just do it myself. It's easier. Yeah. Yeah. The same thing. And so and now like having friends like Holly and Danielle and like there's, Donna and Peppy and there's like a bunch of women that have come into my life that I'm like, oh, I can call this person for this. And like now I've been like, okay, I can kind of give this person a little bit of that. And like, and then it's about knowing who to go to for what too sometimes. Sure, yeah. Like I know if I go to this person, their reaction's going to be this. And like, that's maybe safer than going to someone that's going to be like, okay, let's fix it. You know?
Yeah, but you don't know until you try and or until you spend time. And like, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right. But yeah, it's about being that vulnerable, and that's scary as fuck.
That's hard. That's hard.
Oh my gosh, I could talk to you all day, but I know I have to let you go. But this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much for sharing it, and thank you for like being a survivor, like, and then being out in the world doing amazing stuff, because you have art all over the island.
Yeah. We paint murals all over, and this summer we're gonna paint some more. So yeah.
So how do people support you? Find your art?
My website is rocktheblacktop.com, and there's like summer camp is coming up. You can register if you have kids. My artwork is also at the Fireside currently. And there's also a guitar shop in San Jose called Guitar Wars, and my art's there too.
Nice.
Anything that's on the walls is for sale. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do some more crafting classes at Fireside?
Yes. I'm going to do some more through the Alameda Gallery and Collective.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have some, I already know what project it's going to be. I just have to pick the date.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
So I will help promote that when it happens.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, JoAnne, for coming. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. You probably learned a lot. I know I did. Go see the Book of Mormon.
Yes.
Come to Alameda, support art. Always support local art. And make sure you find some joy today. All right.
Thanks.